Hello and welcome to Property Pundits with me, Gemma Forte, and Romesh Muthiah, who is one of the founding directors of the Central Housing Group and is here with me today to talk about guaranteed rent schemes and letting your property to the council. So hello Romesh.
Hello.
Right, first question, how long have these guaranteed rent schemes been in existence? And also, tell me a bit about the term in terms of relationships between interested parties.
Sure. These schemes have been around since the 1980s, so well in excess of 30 years. In terms of the relationships, it's essentially where a landlord will agree to lease their property to a local authority, a housing association or a specialist letting provider for a fixed term, and then a local authority would then nominate a family to occupy the property.
Excellent. Okay, so tell me in slightly finer detail what the actual term guaranteed rent means.
Well, it essentially means that the rent is guaranteed to be paid throughout the term of the agreement, irrespective of who occupies the property and whether rent is paid or not. So if a property falls empty, it's still guaranteed to be paid.
So when would rent not be payable under this scheme?
If there was a situation where an insurable risk were to occur, so an example would be water ingress, a serious roof leak, a fire, in that situation an insurance claim would need to be made because the property would be uninhabitable.
Okay, I've got you. So can you advise what the benefits of these schemes are?
So yeah, you would essentially have no risk of having a void period or an empty period on the property. Your rent is guaranteed throughout that term of the agreement and there's no involvement in collecting rent from individual tenants. If you needed your property back empty, then there is no legal or court cost to ever bear because that would be covered under this agreement. So typically that would cost about £1,000 to pay for legal and court costs. And finally, there's regular property inspections that are carried out which pick up on repairs and maintenance issues before they become much bigger.
Okay, so what are the drawbacks?
Sure. Typical drawbacks you could say would be you can't choose or select a tenant. Deposits are not usually paid on these type of schemes. And in terms of the rent, it is usually paid in arrears. And finally, typical rent levels, you're looking at 85 to 90% of the market rent payable.
So how will a property be returned at the end of the agreement?
On our scheme, properties are returned in a similar condition, allowing for reasonable wear and tear. So we would take a photographic and a written inventory at the start, and then we'd know what the opening position was. Okay,
so that's reassuring. So in a nutshell, what kind of person would be attracted to this sort of scheme?
So essentially landlords that want to have no hassle and no headache and have a low involvement in their property on a day-to-day basis.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Romesh. Thank you.
Thank you.